All right, in today's video, we're going to be looking at the Henri Daytona and some custom tinted light blue to transition sapphire lenses I just made. We're also going to be looking at about 5 other colors available in this beautiful Daytona by Henri. And we're going to also compare a light tint I made for this JMM frame that a client sent us, a very light tint, barely there tint. We're going to look at how a 30% blue compares to a 15% beigey kind of tan color and talk a little bit about differences in darkness. Don't go anywhere. How's everybody doing? It is your friendly neighborhood optician, Daniel Brunson, and I've got another video for you today where we're going to talk about custom tinted transitions lenses. First of all, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for subscribing to the channel. I like to talk about my favorite indie eyewear brands, custom tinted lens technologies, transitions, photochromics, Zeiss lenses, Shamir Autograph Intelligence, all kinds of things eyewear related. If you want to see more content like that, you can subscribe and you won't miss any of my upcoming videos. And I thank you so much for being a subscriber and all of you who watch regularly. It really means the world to me as the channel has grown and you have all grown with me. So today I have a really special frame that I'm going to talk about. I'm going to talk about the Daytona by Henri. And this is it. This is the Daytona, beautiful gold core wire work. I'm going to talk a little bit more about the design in a moment, and I'm going to share with you, I think I have 5 other colors here in the Daytona, some clear optical versions, some in the sunglass versions. And then a little bit later, I'm going to compare this light blue tint to another even lighter tint, and we're going to talk about tint percentage densities. This is a 30% tint. We'll compare it to a 15% barely there tint, so you can kind of see the difference if you're trying to decide for yourself how dark do you want to make your indoor tint. This video will be very helpful for you, so stick around for that. But first and foremost, I want to give a special shout out to my favorite customer in Arizona, Mr. Terry Hull, Mr. White Keys on YouTube. He has a YouTube channel where he primarily talks about his piano music, but he's starting to branch out and talk a little bit more about his growing eyewear collection that we are happy to help him with. So thank you so much, Terry, for being a supporter. Thank you for being out there. This one's for you, and this is your frame, so you know this one's for you. So let's get into it. This is the Daytona. This is the deep blue color, 7-barrel, 7-barrel, triple riveted, gold plated, 18 karat gold plated hinges. I love the Henri titanium core wire with very unique to the Henri brand design detail work all the way down to the tip. Lots of carved engravings in the temple tip that creates a non-slip. The Daytona frame has absolutely been the most popular frame for us here at Hicks Brunson Eyewear in the Henri collection. And you'll see why when I try it on here in a moment. The shape is flattering on most face shapes. The bridge fit right here, if you look at that sculpted bridge, it's incredibly comfortable on the bridge of the nose. It's a really good sweet spot in eye size, bridge size. Total frame width is going to fit most people really well. It's a 52 eye, 18 bridge. It's got a vertical measurement of 39 millimeters. So let's just try it on for a moment here, and you'll see how good it looks. It's a really flattering shape on a lot of people. Oh, I didn't yet mention, let's get back to that in a moment, decor pieces right here and right here. And I love the way Tyler does these decor pieces. I'm going to show you when I show you the other colors. They're usually gold or silver, but in the deep blue acetate of this Daytona, he has a blue enamel color in the decor, in the gold decor piece. It's the really beautiful details like that that make a luxury brand separate itself from all the rest of the eyewear brands in the world. This may be the last Daytona in deep blue. This, as I'm looking at it, is number 148 of only 149. It says it right there engraved in gold letters or gold numbers in the inlay of the temple. There may not be any more of these Daytonas left. This may be the last one. So let's take a look at the tint color that I did. Again, this is a tint color that we have here called Navy to Seaglass. and we did it on a 30% density. So you can see 30% density is dark enough to show up very well on white paper, and it is still dark enough to show up on the face. So if you go lighter than 30%, as I'll show you later in the video, you really have a tint that you almost don't see on the face. You might see it on white paper, but you don't see on the face. If you start pushing lighter than about 20%, 15%, you can barely see it. So we'll look at that here in a later when we do the comparison. But first I want to share how we did this lens. In addition to the indoor tint, we did Transitions Gen S Sapphire Blue. And for those of you that have followed the channel for a while, I've made numerous videos on this sort of thing. And I've got a full review video on Transitions Gen S. If you want to check that out, I will link to it in this video. But there you have that Sapphire Blue, fully activated outdoor mode. And look how beautiful it is in this T. Henri Daytona in the deep blue colorway. Look at that blue, guys. The Sapphire Blue is a nice, subtle, soft blue with a lot of gray tones in it. So it's not a real wild blue. If you're not sure, like, oh, I don't know if blue would be for me, I usually just do kind of a plain Jane kind of gray color. You really ought to try the Sapphire Blue. It just adds a nice hint of blue to your shades, and it doesn't make everything look really blue, but it does make the blue sky look a little bit bluer, and it's really soothing to look through. And you'll notice about Gen S how much more quickly it starts to fade back to clear compared to previous generations of Transitions photochromics. Gen S fades back in about 2 minutes, 20 seconds, sometime around that time period. So you can see it's already close to halfway back. It does it so fast, your eyes barely have time to notice it as it's happening. You just know your eyes are always comfortable depending on where you're at, how bright it is where you're at. So let's look at a few of the other colors in the Daytona, and then we'll do that comparison on tint percentages as I promised. So again, this is the deep blue. It's got a lot of gold core work. I have carbon here, which is polished black. I have two different black versions. I have a black silver and a black gold. Carbon has silver decor pieces, polished black acetate, full blackout exterior on the temple, and it has a crystal inlay, so you see that silver core wire on the inside there. Interestingly, nice touch with the gold hinge still there. So I like that about the detail on this carbon color. And then similar to the carbon, we've got this one. It's not Asteroid. Maybe it is Asteroid. I think it is Asteroid. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think this color is called Asteroid. It is black and gold. So you've got a opaque inlay with a clear acetate window on the outer edge, so you can see that gold core wire all the way down to the tip, the gold hinges, and the decor pieces on the front with the black enamel color inlay. This is good looking eyewear. You get the black and gold. You need a pair that you can wear anywhere, especially if you need to dress it up a little bit. That gold produces a nice touch. Now let's look at one of the most popular versions of the frame we've had here. This is the champagne color. And let me just tell you, the champagne with the amber gradient lens and the gold core wire is beautiful. And I love a good amber gradient lens. The champagne color frame, admittedly, maybe not the best on my skin tone. I tend to think darker skin tones do better with a champagne color frame. Although, I don't know, with the sunglass lenses in it, I could probably rock this one okay. If you turn this one into a clear pair, then there's just very little color because the champagne is basically a crystal color. There's a splash of yellow in it. So if you don't have a lot of color to your skin and you're doing the clear optical version of this, I don't recommend that as much. If you have darker color to your skin, this tends to look a lot better. This is the green, and I think this is Tyler has a few different greens. It's not the jungle green. It might be the brigade green. It's a really nice green. It's got silver core wire inlay. You can see right there. And it's not an opaque green. It's got some translucence to it. And it's even got some, if you can see, it's got some brown, light, like kind of brown blended in to the green and the crystal. And like all of his temple arms, you can see there's a crystal outer layer and then the color on the inner layer. You can see that right there. And that's typically so you can see that beautiful core wire work with the detailed design work that's unique to the T. Henri brand. So there you look at it on. I think the lens color on this one is also sort of a, yeah, it's sort of a G15 gradient. And I believe it has a flash mirror of some sort. It has an anti-reflective coating on the back side, like all the T. Henri sunglasses do. I can't tell if it has a mirror coating on the front or not. I think it might have a light flash silver. So that's the green. And then the last one I want to share color-wise, this is the Yangtze tortoise. And I mean, oh my God, guys, like this one's just easy. Wear it with anything. Tortoise is one of those neutral colors. It goes with everything. It's got a fully opaque acetate temple arm, no clear window on either the outer or the inlay. So if you want something that is a lot less flashy with the shiny core wire, you don't see it on this one. You have the 7-barrel gold titanium hinge lug, hinge on the inside, which the gold and the tortoise is just beautiful together. So, and then you have the decor pieces on the front are silver and appear to me to have sort of a black enamel color built into those decor pieces right there. And the lens color on the Yangtze looks like similar to the green. It looks like a gray-green gradient. Little surprised we didn't get the brown color in this one like we did in the champagne, but this actually looks really good. So just look how good the Yangtze tortoise color looks. So those are all the colors we currently have in stock in the Daytona. As I said, this is one of our most popular T. Henri frames, and it just fits so well for that reason. All right, now, as promised, let's do a little comparison on tint darkness percentages. So I'm going to go back to navy to Seaglass that we did here. So the transitions has fully cleared up. The only color that we're looking at here is the base tint that we did. That's the navy to Seaglass at a 30% density. And I may need to film some B-roll so I can see if I can show you these side by side, because I'm not going to be able to hold them both up at the same time. This is a JMM frame that a client sent us that they wanted a tinted lens on a Transitions XTRActive brown. And I might show you that here in a moment, but for now I just want to compare tint darknesses. So this is a tint color we have that is called topaz to copper, and this particular client wanted a barely there tint. So we ended up doing a 15% density. What you notice is you see it when I hold it on bright white paper, bright white background. You can see the color, but I want you to tell me if you can still see it when I'm wearing it. You might be able to see it just a little bit, but you will not be able to see it nearly as much as the 30% blue. Of course, color does have something to do with this. The topaz to copper color, that's real similar to the color of my skin. So it's going to blend a little more anyway, but we lightened it. Again, it's half the darkness, 15% density, 30% density. So if you want that barely there look, 15% is where you go. Most people that want a tint in their glasses, they tend to want something that actually shows up, that other people look at and they go, oh, that's a cool tint. I can see the tint color in your glasses. So they want the 30% or maybe sometimes a little darker, sometimes 40% if you want to kick it up a little bit more. You get closer to 50%, then you're at a category 2 and it starts to look like it's what we call an indoor-outdoor. It starts looking a little more like sunglasses. 30% indoor, clearly made for indoor, light enough to be worn indoors and at night. and it looks good. Most people will like the way it looks indoors. But this is the 30% category 1. This is the 15%, barely there. Just a wash of color on the lens. Just shows up enough. I can definitely see it looking through it. I can see that there's a nice amber soothing tone, which I personally really like. Team brown, if you're talking about which color you like looking through the best. I like the ambers. I really love the ambers and the browns. So that's what they look like comparatively. And I'll show you side by side also in the video. You can see the difference. So for those of you that might want to see how this one turned out regarding the transitions color, as I said, we did the XTRActive brown. So let's light it up here. We'll just do one side. I said we did the XTRActive brown, and that is what we did. And if you're interested, if you're going, what's he talking about? He was talking about transitions Generation S. Now he's talking about XTRActive. That's what the XTRActive brown looks like, fully darkened. I've made a video, if you don't know which technology would be best for you, transitions Signature Gen S or XTRActive. I've made a video if you need help deciding on which technology would be best for you, because there are differences, and I'll link to that video. But this is what you look like outdoors. This is what you look like indoors, with that very light wash of a 15% topaz to copper tint. Then you go outside and you get Transitions XTRActive brown. So there you have it, folks. That was a nice long ride through the Daytona with the custom tint we made and a lot of the other colors currently available. And hopefully that comparison on tint percentages there at the end helped you decide, if you can't decide, how dark you want your indoor tint to be. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you watched the whole video, you're one of the heroes. You're one of the heroes of the YouTube channel if you stuck with me to the end. And I'm really grateful that you stuck with me to the very end, because that means we just have a very special relationship, and I appreciate that. Let me know what you think about these looks in the comments below. Do you like these colors? Would you do something different? What are your thoughts on what you would like to do? And maybe I can help you make your eyewear dreams come true. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.